Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Alright, today we are on like day 13. And today I kind of wanted to talk about something kind of more like serious. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about psychology, right? So, this is probably one of the most important videos you'll watch on this trading journey, right? Because psychology is one of the most important things that I think every trader needs. And if you don't have good psychology, you're just going to make a lot of stupid mistakes in the market. And I don't want you guys to do that. I don't want you guys to have to make stupid mistakes in the market because, like, I don't know, of emotions, you don't want to let emotions get the best of you. And I kind of just want to go over that today. And I know a lot of people probably are going to find this video boring because they just want the strategy. They just want, to make the money. They just want all these nice things, but they don't want the actual pain that comes with trading, which is the psychology aspect. And I'm going to tell you guys a kind of my story, right? So, um, way before I started trading, right, I used to, you know, be a very depressed kid, right? I used to be very depressed. Um, and I used to have a lot of like, you know, um, what is it called? Uh, I used to, so back when, my mom and dad were together, right? Um, I was living with them, right? And it wasn't the best environment. I mean, my dad would always beat my mom, and uh, my dad would always beat like me or my siblings, right? And just living in that environment really messed me up a lot. And I had a lot of scars. I had a lot of things that I went through, a lot of things that I no kid should ever have to experience. No one should ever have to go through. And it was just terrible. It was terrible. And I was depressed every day I went to school. I was always trying to distract myself from all the things going on at home. And it just sucks. Like nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew the kind of things I saw every day. I mean, I've literally had like my dad like choke me at like some point, right? Like I've had him throw a freaking brick phone, dude, like a Nokia at my face, dude. Like that, those kinds of things, dude. Those will stay with you for the rest of your life, right? And um, it's just terrible, man. It's terrible. And yeah, so I moved out and I was living with my aunt for a time, and I just became even more depressed, dude, because I couldn't even spend time with my family anymore. I was literally separated from my family because of all these bad things happening, and they wanted to just get me away from that. But it just ended up making me more depressed because now I was like, okay, well, these things sucked, but yeah, now I'm not even with my family anymore, and it just sucked because I kind of left my family behind, not by choice really, but because they didn't want me to be in that scenario, but they didn't want to take care of my other siblings and stuff. And I have two siblings, little brother and little sister. And I was 13 at the time, and I was in eighth grade, and it's just I was just going through a lot. Had terrible grades, dude, terrible grades. And I just felt like I had nothing going for me. I felt like all the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to become an artist. I wanted to, make YouTube videos. I had all these passions and hobbies, and all of it just was stripped away from me and just died. And I became very depressed. I became very, unconfident. And I've always been kind of like an introvert, very quiet kid. I like to talk a lot, in class, but uh, I just, the more like I was into like the more I went through eighth grade, I guess, and like started going to like freshman year, I just started becoming a very introverted, quiet kid who didn't really have anything going for him. He was kind of the failure, and I kind of felt like the failure of like my family. It's like I was, you know, I was like I felt like I was the worst one. Like I was the kid that everybody thought was like doing the worst out of all the people and the kids in the family, and it just made me feel like garbage, man. Like, and every time I would talk about my dreams, every time I would talk about what I wanted to do, like everything I like loved and cared about, people just shut me down. People shut me down for all the things that I enjoyed and loved to do and said that I could never make a career out of it or do anything with it. And I think it really messed me up. And I really started to believe that. And I know I'm kind of sounding like I'm going off topic and stuff, but um, this is really how it was. And I want to say that one thing that you guys should never let anyone do is dictate where your life is going to go. You know, if someone wants you to do something and that's not your calling, don't do it, man. Do whatever your heart desires. Do what you love because what other people want you to do isn't what you're going to want to do. And some people want you to take the safe route. Some people say, oh, you're never going to make money off of that. You're never going to make a living off of that. Never listen to those people, man. Those people, they're just traditional. They're stuck in their own ways. They're limiting themselves. They have limiting beliefs. Why would you want to listen to someone that limits their beliefs? Because people who limit their beliefs never get far in life. It's always the people who believed in crazy things that got really far. And you think that limiting your beliefs is gonna get you far in life? You think that putting a limit, putting a an area where you can't go or go above is gonna get you far? No, dude. Like, never believe that there's a limit. Never believe that there's something safe in life. That there's a safe option. If you believe something is safe, you're stupid. All right. And that sounds messed up, but there's no safe option in life, guys. I'm telling you, like, anything can happen. Your job could go away. You could get replaced. You could get fired tomorrow. Like, anything could happen. And it could be out of your control, too. You could lose your car, your family. Anything could happen. There's no safe, guaranteed thing in life. And once you start understanding that, you will start to understand that you need to take the risks right now, especially if you're young, to do the necessary things to change your life, to change your family's trajectory, to change your trajectory in life, because nothing is safe. And if nothing is safe, if you can't trust the government, you can't trust, you know, like your teachers. Like, do you even know if your teachers are teaching you the right history? Do you even know that? You probably don't. And how can you trust a government that doesn't fulfill its promises? How can you trust a teacher that doesn't teach the correct history? Now, no offense to the teachers or anything, but they're just, you know, being taught what they're supposed to teach, right? They can't really give their own opinions and stuff. And I'm not going to get too in depth into that, but why would you want to trust a system that is designed to keep you at a certain level? You know, and I was having this conversation with someone, not too long ago, like yesterday. We were talking about how taxes work and how the taxes are just meant to kind of hurt the middle class, not the upper class. The upper class pays zero in taxes, dude. They pay nothing in taxes, and the middle class end up paying the most. And you know why? It's because they have a limiting self-belief where they can't make enough money and they have to pay taxes a certain way. But if they just knew the secrets that the rich people knew, if they just listened instead of being an egotistical um, and just believing that you're always right and not trying to take advice and trying to better yourself and trying to create a better life for yourself. These people, that's they deserve where they're at. And I'm just being honest, all right? I'm just being honest. Everyone here, I deserve to be where I'm at. You deserve to be where you're at. You deserve to be where you're at, all right? And if you don't like it, then you should change it, all right? You should change where you're at. And back to the story is I kind of started to fall out of place, right? And I kind of moved back in with my mom, and we were just kind of hopping from house to house, place to place, and we finally got an apartment, which is the apartment I'm still living at right now. I mean, I've moved to a couple of different places myself, but I've met so many people, so many things. I've seen so many things that now it's just like interesting that I'm glad I've gone all these experiences. I'm glad I've gone all the things that I've gone to do because it wouldn't make me the person I am today. And that's one of the core aspects of trading is sometimes you're gonna have to see red days. in order to see green days, right? All the red days are necessary. All the pain, the suffering is necessary to make you the best trader possible, to make you the man that you want to become. And without those, you're just going to be complacent. You're going to be the same person. Because why do you feel like you have to change, right? Because there's things in your life that make you uncomfortable. There's things in your life that make you uncomfortable, so you gotta change for those reasons, right? But if nothing made you uncomfortable, why would you need to change? Why would you need to change anything about your life if it didn't make you uncomfortable? So it's the same thing with trading. It's like, well, if you don't like losing, then maybe you need to change something. If you don't like where you're at in life, maybe you need to change something. If you don't like how much money you're making, you can always make more money. If you don't like your job, you can always change your job. If you don't like, your girlfriend or your partner, you can always get a better partner. I mean, you never have to stay complacent with any of the things that you're at right now. Like, you could change your life. You could change your life. It's completely up to you, and that's what you need to realize. You need to realize what your future can hold for you. And your future isn't determined by someone else's past, right? Your future is determined by what you do in the present. So, what you need to do is you need to let go of all of the things. Let go of everything that everyone's ever told you and just throw it out the window because these people already lived, these people already messed up, and they never decided to change. They never decided to, you know, take action on the things that they knew about because they thought that it wouldn't be a good idea because they just didn't want to take the risk, right? But you're different. You're different, and if you're watching this video, I know you're different. I know you're different if you're watching this video because no one would ever get this far, and no one would ever watch. I mean, I'm not a very big YouTuber or anything, but no one would ever watch a small YouTuber like me talk about all this stuff. So if you're watching this, you're in the right place. You are in the right place, and you are probably going to do great things. And I really want you guys to achieve those things. And if 5 years ago I saw myself doing what I'm doing right now, I probably wouldn't believe it, dude. I wouldn't believe that I'm making money from something that, you know, from looking at candlesticks, dude. That's just insane. Like how like I never thought that would be possible. And 5 years ago, dude, I was playing Smash Bros and going to tournaments, dude, and just no lifing, playing video games, depressed, suicidal. Dude, I've literally written down ways to kill myself because I really wanted to kill myself. Like it was so bad, and I'm no longer in that spot anymore, which I'm thankful for. But it's insane, guys, that I was in that spot at some point where I just wanted to end it all because I just hated everything about my life. But eventually I got to find out that there's a change, that you can change, that you can become better. And the more life I experience, the more pain I experience, I realize that I have a huge pain tolerance. I can go through things and still make it out at the end. I can still go through these dark tunnels and still see the light at the end, no matter what. And you have to be the same way as well. If you want to make this work, if you want to achieve your dreams, if you want to, take your girl out to wherever you want in the world with no price budget, nothing. If you want to be able to retire your mom, your family, be able to give them the car that they want, the watch that they want, the dreams that they want, like you can do that, guys. It's literally possible. And I'm not at that point yet, but I know it's possible because I never thought that what I was doing right now was possible until I got here. So I believe anything is possible, guys. And you guys just have to have that same belief where you guys believe that it's possible. It's possible, and it just is, guys. It's just possible, all right? But yeah, I was playing Smash Bros. I kind of found that to be like, I guess my calling at the time, like 5 years ago, and I was just super stoked about it, guys. You just have to find something you're excited about. I mean, for me, it's trading, but if you're watching this, you're also excited about trading. So just keep going, guys. Like you will reach the point you want to reach eventually, right? Um, like I was playing Smash Bros, but the more I guess I grew up and found out, wait, guys, if I because so my goal in Smash was to become the best Smash player, right? And I was trying my best to become the best Smash player. I was going to all these tournaments. I was trying to beat the best players, and I ended up being like, one of the best players. I ended up being in the top 10. And I kind of didn't find it fulfilling, really. I was like, wow, well, this is great and all, but there's got to be something more, right? There's got to be more to life because there's no way like I can be playing Smash forever, right? Like there's got to be more to life. And honestly, the only reason why I wanted to become a good player in Smash was to make enough money so I can do things for other people. But obviously, there's no money in that video game. There's no money in that like scene. So I started kind of, you know, not really doing anything, but I just started to come to these thoughts, right? And I found someone eventually that kind of led me into the gym. And this is kind of where it all started, where I started to develop that mindset where it's like, okay, I need to become a man. I need to become better. I need to change my life. And it kind of made me realize going to the gym for the first time, like 3 years ago, I started to believe, wait, if Smash Bros is okay, it's gonna sound really dumb and autistic, but Smash Bros is just a video game, right? Smash Bros is a video game, and real life is just a video game as well. Honestly, it's like GTA. Like we're all playing GTA in real life, dude. And I was just thinking, I was like, well, if like real life is kind of like a video game, and you can get better at things in real life, why don't I just treat real life like it was like a video game? Right? Why don't I max out my stats? Why don't I get as buff, as strong as possible, as wealthy as possible, as, knowledgeable as possible, as, like just it started to come to me where I was like, wait, I can just do everything I was doing in Smash, but just apply it to real life. It sounds stupid, but that's like literally when it clicked for me, where it's like, wait, I can just become the best version of myself in real life. What am I doing? So I started when I was going to the gym, right? I was just practicing, focusing on the gym really hard, and right at the time I was also, I mean, I'm still working, but I'm not taking it as seriously as I was anymore. My goal was to be a manager, right? Be a manager of Barros. That's the place I work at. I wanted to be a pizza manager, right? Like I wanted to manage a pizza restaurant because they made a lot of money, and I was like, well, I have friends that are Barros managers, and they, talk it up a lot, and they make good money. And I was like, well, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just go to the gym, get jacked, and try to make as much money as I can from Barros. And I didn't really know any other ways to make money at the time, and so that's what I was pursuing. But the more I worked at Barros, the more I realized, wait, I don't really like listening to people. I kind of like doing my own thing. I've never really been a fan of, I guess, like fitting in. Like I never liked the idea of. I like being, like standing out. I like standing out a lot. I like being different than others, and it's just Barros kind of didn't really give me that. And also, it's just, dude, when you guys work a fast food joint, or if you work like a restaurant, you start to realize how many people around you are very like just not. I don't want to say it, but like just a lot of people they're just dumb, right? Like there's just a lot of bad apples that you're gonna work with, and it just really is terrible. It's like, damn, I have to deal with these people every day. I have to listen, and some of these people are managers. I have to listen to this guy tell me when to eat. I have to listen to this guy, you know, tell me what to do, what to clean, what to like wear, what to say, and it's like, wait, I I don't like this. I want to be free. I want to have freedom. And this isn't freedom. This is like, yes, maybe you can make a lot of money, but this isn't what I want. I want like to make money, but to also be free, to also do the things that I want every day. And this just wasn't that, guys. And it's just I started to think that, like, I mean, okay, this sounds really cringe and stuff, but I started to think of myself as a slave, right? I was like, dude, I feel like I'm just a slave. Like I'm just here to work harder for a dude who doesn't want to work as hard as me. But sure, he's paying me, but do I really want to work that hard? I would rather be the guy that pays other people to work hard for him. And that's when I started to realize, wait, why don't I just do the same thing? Why don't I just make money like this guy, but do it on my own terms, right? Be my own boss, because even the boss has a boss. And if you're working at a, corporate company, right? There's going to be a ladder, and you're never going to be at the top. That's the honest truth. You're never If you start out as an employee, you're never going to be up here. If you work at Starbucks, you're never going to be the CEO. If you work at McDonald's, you're never going to be the CEO if you start out as an employee. If you work at, you know, whatever place you want to, you're never going to be the CEO. You're never going to own the company. You're never going to be any of that, because you'll probably become a manager. You'll probably own a store, but that's it. That's probably going to be the peak for you. And for me, I never liked the idea of that. I like the idea that I'm always in control of things, and I always like to be in control of stuff. I hate the idea of not being in control of anything. And so when I started to realize this, I kind of just started to, find ways to get rich. So once I about turned 18, so when I was 15, I was playing Smash Bros. When I was 17, I got a job. I was working at Walmart at first before I found out about Barros and it's a pizza place. So I was working at Walmart. I was a cart pusher. I kind of stopped doing that because I was still depressed at the time. And then I got into Barros, and yeah, I was working there. And yeah, that's when I got into the gym and started, you know, uh, like wanted to be a manager and stuff. And then by the time I was like 17, 18, probably about 18 years old, I kind of was like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. Want to I don't want to, be a Barros manager anymore. I give up. I give up. And especially the store that I was working at the time, dude, the employees sucked, the manager sucked. Everything about that store sucked, and I just couldn't put up with it anymore. And I felt like everybody was relying on me to pull through, to carry everyone, and I just couldn't handle that pressure because it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. What made me want to become a manager made me want to not become a manager at that store. If that makes sense. But yeah, so I stopped searching for that opportunity at Barrows, and I started looking somewhere else. And I learned about crypto, and I was kind of pursuing that. I was also doing drop shipping. I was trying to do some other weird stuff as well. Like, when you start trying to learn how to make money, you're going to experience and like experiment with a lot of different stuff. And that's pretty much what I was doing. I was experimenting with a lot of stuff. I was, just trying to make money somehow. I was trying to figure out, okay, what thing can I do? What will be my vehicle to get to money, right? Because I'm the key. You're the key, all right, guys? You need to remember you're the key, and whatever you're going to make money with is the vehicle. So you just need to find the vehicle and stick to it, okay? And so yeah, I tried drop shipping. I tried, you know, didn't really work out. I tried crypto. Now, I did have some success in crypto, but I also lost a lot of money. I made a lot of money and I lost a lot of money, and I was trading meme coins and I was trading altcoins, and it just didn't really end well. My portfolio, it's kind of crazy to think that my portfolio probably would have been worth about 50,000 to $100,000 at its peak, but I didn't. I lost it all, guys. I lost it all. I could have been 50,000 right now. Like I could have been set for a bit. Could have had a decent amount of savings, more than most people my age, and I messed it up. I messed it up really badly, and yeah, that kind of made me lose my motivation. I kind of fell into a very, you know, like dark place again. I felt like I was kind of lost again because I was like, okay, I thought crypto was going to be my thing, that I was gonna do, and it just didn't work out. And I kind of was like, frick, dude, I fell into a dark place, and sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom. Sometimes you gotta hit like lows to, push back up, And I was also, in love with this girl at this time, and she just made my life really hard. I'm not gonna lie. Um, she had a lot of problems, and a lot of it was also my stupidity. I could have avoided all of this, but you know, I guess when you're young, you're gonna go through a lot of stupid decisions and stupid things that you shouldn't be going through. But I was in love with this girl, and she just, you know, one day on my on March 24th, which was the day I was born, my birthday, I was turning 20, right? And we were hanging out, me and this girl, and she wanted to go to these places. She wanted to do all these things, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Like I'm excited, and I never been excited for my birthday, guys. I've always hated my birthday. I'm not gonna. I don't know why. I just don't like my birthday, and this really hit my birthday even more. But so we were hanging out, and we were at an arcade, right? We were at an arcade playing games, and she was like texting someone. Every time I won her a prize, every time I won her anything from the arcade, every time we'd play a game, she'd be taking pictures of it and sending it to some random person. And I just kept seeing that happen over and over, and I tried not to think about it too much, and eventually it was just getting into a point where I was just done with it. I was done. I was like, all right, I can't handle this anymore. I'm done. So I start tearing up. I start tearing up because I'm thinking, okay, she's just texting another guy. Like, I'm done. I can't. I gotta leave. So I walk out of the arcade, right? I walk out of the arcade, and this is my 20th birthday, by the way. So I walk out. I'm tearing up. I'm like trying to compose myself, and she comes out and says, "What's wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, And I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, why are you like you hyped up my birthday so much. You hyped up my birthday to be this nice, amazing thing. And the one time I get excited for my birthday for you, you just are not even giving me the attention that like I would want. Like, why are you texting other people? Why are you you know, sending all these emojis and sending all this stuff to other people and sending people what I'm like getting you for my birthday. Like for my birthday, I'm getting you all of these freaking plushies from these cranes, and you're over here just texting people. Like this is supposed to be about, I mean, me, but I thought this is about us. Like this is us. This is our date. Like why are you on your phone the entire time? And she's telling me that she is texting this therapist, and I'm like, dude, she's texting another guy. She was texting another guy most likely, and um, I don't know how to feel about that. It was I just started crying when she told me it was a therapist because what kind of bullshit is that? What kind of dude? By the way, this was 12 a.m. 12 a.m., bro. What kind of therapist is up at 12 a.m.? So, yeah, I don't know. And there's always a time and a place to text a therapist. 12 a.m. while you're on a date, while you're celebrating your boyfriend's birthday, but he's spending money on you that entire day. Like, what kind of day is that? That, and I was truly heartbroken at that day, and it kind of changed the way I view relationships. It kind of changed me a lot as a person. I was really hurt. I was really hurt, and um, yeah, it just sucked, man. It sucked, and she ended up breaking up with me, and I tried to get back with her because I was an idiot, and yeah, it just wasn't good. It wasn't good, but so at this time I started pursuing trading, right? It was about March that this happened, and yeah, I was doing trading, and I started like learning about trading in January, but I didn't really start like actually trading until March. And I just started to pursue trading seriously. And you know, it was a long year, and yeah, I just started grinding really hard, and I was like, dude, frick this, dude. Like, I'm just gonna go to the gym, just gonna work on myself, just gonna be the best man possible because this is messed up, dude. Like, things like the reason, like, it's just, dude, I just felt like I never deserved that. Like, and everything happens for a reason in life, but in my head, I was like, dude, I don't deserve this disrespect. I don't deserve this life. Like, I don't deserve to be crying over this girl that is lying to me and is probably talking smack behind my back now and making up all these kinds of stories when all I did was try to reassure her and help her. And she's probably trying to paint me as a villain in her story to her new boyfriend or whatever, but it's whatever, right? It's whatever. I don't care about it anymore. But I just don't deserve that kind of disrespect. I deserve to have good things, to have nice things, and being with her really just made me realize, damn, I'm probably getting disrespected a lot, dude. Like, and I'm not respecting myself. And you guys gotta ask yourself, are you respecting yourself? Are you really respecting yourself? Or are you just going for, like, the bare minimum? Like, and that's kind of what upset me is like, damn, I let myself get disrespected, and I will never let that happen again. And so I put my walls up, but eventually I ended up finding this girl, and me and her actually met a long time ago in the Smash scene. And she was different. She changed. She was able to reshape my view on, I guess, relationships again. And she was Christian, I was Christian. We had the same values, we had the same like morals, we had the beliefs. And I was like, dang, this this might be it, right? And yeah, so I mean, I'm with her right now. I'm engaged. Crazy. I haven't really told much people, but oh, sorry, I gotta stretch, dude. I feel like I've been talking for a while. I don't even, dude. This video's 32 minutes. Wow. But yeah, I found this girl, and she just ended up being the most amazing girl ever. And it's just crazy how, I mean, you guys might not believe in God, but I'm Christian, so I believe in God. And I just think it's interesting how God works in mysterious ways where He'll hurt you. Well, not Him specifically, but like He'll let you fall so you can get back up stronger. Because God wouldn't give you any battles that He know you couldn't face or beat. And I just think that's very, interesting that the way my life has gone is kind of like that, where it's, you know, um, I felt like everything I had to face, every battle, every challenge, everything that hurt me and put me in pain ended up creating me to be a better man. And I just think that's very interesting. And yeah, I just found it to really shape and change me for the better, I guess. Now I'm here. Now I'm about to hit my second payout, and you guys are gonna see many, many more payouts. You guys are gonna see make me. You guys are gonna see me make more and more money. You guys are gonna see my success, and I want you guys to see that even someone like me, even someone who came from nothing, but guys, my family was poor. My family had not much. All right. And I know when I say poor, I don't mean like actually poor. Like, I know some people are actually poor and can't even afford food, but I mean, my family was relatively poor. We were low middle class, I guess to be precise, and we just didn't really have much. And, you know, I didn't really say this, but my dad passed away like a year or two ago, and it just made me realize, damn, I really am the only man left in my family. I mean, my little brother's not a man yet. He's still a kid. He's still growing. But I really am the only man left in my actual family, and I feel like it's my duty to provide what my dad couldn't, because not only is he gone now, but he's he was never gonna do it in the first place, and I felt like someone had to fill that role, because I wish I had that role filled for me. And yeah, and I always think to myself, man, I'm like, damn, what did my mother think when she was on the playground in third grade, second grade, kindergarten? Like, what were her dreams? What were her aspirations? Like, I always think about little kid her, and you guys should too. Like, what did your mom want when she was a little kid on the playground? When someone asked her, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go when you grow up? And your mom had an answer. Do you think any of the things that she said are, relevant to your life or to her life right now? I mean, probably not. And, this mostly goes out to like people who have good relationships with their mom. I mean, I know people who have bad relationships with their mom, and I guess that might be different. But if you have a good relationship with your mother, wouldn't you want to give her the best life? Or your father, or your siblings, or anyone? Do you really love anyone if you can't give them the best life possible? And if you're not actively striving to give people around you the best life possible, the best version of you possible, do you really love them? Like, be honest with yourself, all right, guys? No sugarcoating. We're serious here. Serious men talking to each other. Like, do you actually, like, can you actually say that you love your family, that you love your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whatever, siblings? Um, can you actually say you love them if you're not willing to die for them? If you can't even die for them, and if you are willing to die for them, why can you die for them but you can't get rich? Why? Genuine question. Why can't you figure out some way to make money? Like, these people who say they're willing to die for their family, but they're never willing to try and risk their lives to get rich, risk their teenager years, risk their, mid 20s. Oh no, I'd rather party. Oh no, like, yeah, I just don't have time. Oh well, it's just I've been looking into it, but I'm not that interested, or it just seems way too hard. It's not like my thing. Who cares if it's not your thing? Do you want to get rich or not? Do you care enough about your family? Do you care enough about your future? Do you care enough about the people that are around you that love you? And if you're not willing to make that sacrifice so they can be happy, then you'll never be happy. Because you'll know deep down when you're older, 20, 30 years down the line, damn, what if what if she could have been with a better guy, and that better guy could have been me? What if I could have been that better guy for her? What if I could have been a better man for her? And I know this video is supposed to be about psychology, but there's a very important lesson in this, and it's that never live without regrets, and always appreciate all the bad things that happen, because the journey is what makes the destination much better. If you don't have a long journey, you're not going to care about the destination, because just look at rich people, for example, people who are born into wealth, like little kids who are born into wealth. They get to drive a Ferrari, bro. They're 15 years old, 16 years old, driving a Ferrari. Like those, very, I mean, it's rare, but like those people who are born into wealth, you know or they're like 20 and driving a Ferrari with daddy's money, and they don't realize how expensive that is, how valuable that is, how crazy that achievement is at such a young age. They will never realize that because they never did the work. It was given to them. And you guys need to realize that you guys will probably be happier than these people because you had an experience, you had a chance to actually grow, to fall down, to get back up. And that's what trading is, guys. It's going to have highs, it's going to have lows, it's going to have lower lows, lower highs, higher lows, and higher highs, You're going to experience all these things. And your life is pretty much a chart, guys. Your life is a chart, you know. And maybe I can show you guys something. I don't know if I can actually. Oh, that's fine. But life is like a chart, guys. It sounds kind of autistic, but it quite literally is. Sometimes you're gonna go down, but at the end of the day, you're gonna go up. You're gonna be up at the end of the day, and that's all that matters. And over time, the S&P 500 has gone up. Every year it goes up, right? And, there's been some years where it just stayed down, but eventually, overall, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, you'll be up. And that's the most important thing, in my opinion, is that you're up at the end and you're winning, you know. But you don't want to be losing at the end. You don't want to be that guy who finishes last in the race because he wanted to feel like he was first at the beginning. So, yeah. So right now, your time should be dedicated to becoming the best version of you possible. So please use this as motivation. Use this as a way to wake up and realize that if you just keep believing that things can happen, that things can come true, they can come true. And once you break out of that mindset of thinking that something is safe or there's another option that is better for you, that isn't, financial freedom, um, you're just gonna be stuck, dude. You're gonna be stuck. And I know life isn't all about money, but having a lot of money will allow you to do a lot of other stuff in life. And I want you guys to enjoy those things and be able to just treat all the people that you wish you could have treated better, with money. It's like you can get your mom a nicer, purse, your girlfriend a nicer purse, you can get them a nicer dinner, you can have them eat, steak, like you can have them eat freaking ribeyes and steak like every night, dude. Like, man, like you guys could be living the dream life. You guys could be chilling on a beach in Monaco, just watching the sunset with your two kids, or I mean, if you don't want kids, with your girl or whatever. Just whatever you want, your family. Anything is possible, guys. Anything is possible, and you need to break out that mindset. All right, anything is possible, and you need to realize that this trading journey might not be easy. You're probably gonna be here for a while. And even watching my course, like, yes, you might get there faster. And if you have me mentoring you, you will get there faster. But you still have to realize that it is a journey. It is a journey, and that you guys have to see it through. No matter what's happening right now, you might have a red month, 2 red months, 5 red months. It took me having like 8 red months until I started seeing progression. And so like I had like 9 to 10 red months, dude. Well, technically I had like um eights, right? 8 red months. Wait, no, 10 red months. I had like 10. No, I had 9 red months until I started having my first green month, and then I had my second green month in December, and hopefully in January I'll have my third green month. And yeah, that's just how it is, guys. That's trading. You're gonna be down at first, but you're gonna bounce back up. And there's this quote that I heard, and if you're a Christian, you're probably gonna like this a lot. But sometimes it takes you to reach rock bottom to realize that God is the rock at the bottom. And that's kind of what held me together at the end of the day, is God being my rock at the bottom and realizing that He has a plan for me, and He doesn't want me to fall any lower because He knows I can achieve great things. And if God needs you to fall lower, then so be it, because that's what's gonna make you the man that you want to be. And every man wants to become not every man wants to be the same man, and some men want to achieve more than others. And depending on how much you want to achieve, God's just gonna let you fall until He feels like you learned the lessons to become that man. You know. And yeah, so anyways, I really just wanted to share that story of my journey with you guys, and I know I didn't really go into detail a lot. I could have gone more into detail, but yeah, I guess I just wanted to really get my story out of the way because it's easier to kind of show you guys why I want it so badly. Because if you guys don't have a why, If you guys don't have a reason to want to get better, dude, I had so many messed up things happen to me in my life, and that's the reason why I want it so bad. I want it so bad because I went through so many things that no one should go have to go through, and I don't want anyone to go through those things again. So I'm gonna make sure I'm a better father than my father. I'm gonna make sure I'm a better, you know, father figure than my father. I'm gonna make sure I'm a better provider, that I'm a better man, that I'm better at everything. Because it's not even about trying to be better and one up him. It's about trying to progress and get better, you know? If like obviously you want to be better than the people before you because the reason why they're putting you on this is so you can continue on their legacy and, push push on the name, right? Push their blood on, right? But yeah, yeah, guys, it's just I can't really describe to you guys how badly I want my life to change, and I don't think anybody will ever want it more than I do, and that's what makes me different is that nobody wants it as much as I do, but you need to start having that same mindset, guys. If you had that same mindset where you're like, nobody wants it more than I do, if you can confidently say that and be like, oh, I want it more than this guy. I want it more than him. I'm hungry. I'm a hungry animal. You're gonna get far, and you got to keep that mindset because that mindset is not something that a lot of people have, and a lot of people give up easily. So you really need to stick to that and be true to yourself and chase your dreams because your dreams are waiting for you on the other side. So yeah, I know, like I said, I'm sorry. I know this video is about psychology, but this is important because what gives us better psychology is learning from our lessons and learning that we can always get better and we can always improve and you can improve too. And that should be your goal in trading is every time you see a mistake, every time you mess up, just realize that it's only one day and you can always change that the next day. You never have to make the same mistake twice. All right? Making the same mistake twice is always a choice. And once you guys realize that, you guys will make less mistakes and you guys will become better much faster, much quicker. And yeah, you guys don't have to make the same mistake twice. Just remember that. You can accidentally make the same mistake once, but you should never make it twice because, well, yeah, just don't. I don't know. I felt like I was gonna say something, but I feel like I've been yapping for so long. I've been yapping for like 47 minutes. But what was I gonna say? Oof, dude, 48 minutes. That's crazy, man. Well, yeah. Um, always try your best, guys. Try your best. Never give up, and make a lot of money. All right, make a lot of money, and just, dude, my brain is shutting off now. Oh my gosh, I've been talking for so long. Oof, I like just need a moment to think, dude. I just need a moment to think. Sorry, guys. I'm just like, sorry. I'm just like, my brain is just shutting off. But yeah, guys, treat trading like it's a job, and it's the best job in the world, and you can never mess up more than once. All right. If you mess up twice, you lose your job and you get fired. So think about it that way. All right. When you do trading, think about it. Okay, I made this mistake before. I got to make sure I don't make it again because this is the best job in the world, and this job will pay me as much money as I want. I just have to make sure I never make the same mistake twice. And it's okay to make mistakes, guys. It's always okay to make mistakes. It's never okay to keep doing the same mistake though. So you want to focus on always leveling up, always leveling up. But I'm not gonna drag this video on too long. I feel like maybe if I need to, I'll probably make like a another part of this where I talk more about trading than just myself. But I feel like the psychology always matters. It always matters what you've gone through in the past, what you need to deal with, what your monsters are, what your demons are, because trading will teach you that. It will tell you what your monsters are and what you're facing. And it's not going to be scared to, because every mistake that you make in the market is going to be a reflection of who you are as a person. That's what trading is. Trading literally is just a reflection of who you are as a person. And if you're not ready to face the pain, if you're not ready to face all the challenges and problems, you're never going to make it far, because a strong men are good at dealing with problems, and they're good at dealing with certain types of conditions and things and stress. And if you just can't do that, then you're not going to be built for it. But yeah, um, if I think of anything else to say, I'll probably do another video. I've kind of just been yapping for so long, and yeah. But anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, um, and just thank you guys for coming this far. If you watched the entire boot camp, if you watched the entire series, I just appreciate a lot of you guys. I appreciate everyone. Sorry, every single one of you. And it really is a blessing, man. It is a blessing to be able to just speak into a camera and have someone watch you and listen to you to what you have to say. And yeah, you guys are gonna. This is not the end of me. You guys will see me become one of the greatest traders. Well, maybe not one of the greatest traders. My goal is not to become the greatest trader, but to become one of the biggest people in the space. Right? That's one of my goals. I want to show people that I was a guy that came from nothing. I was a guy that came from a poor family, an abusive home, a alcoholic, drug abusing dad that abused me and my family, and um, I had no money, and I still was able to come up from that, and I was able to become a millionaire. I was able to become a multimillionaire, and I can live a life that I want, that I love, and everyone can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it off here. If you enjoy this video, subscribe, and then there might be a video up here that's more tailored to you. And if you want to watch more of the boot camp, it's over here. But yeah, and you can also follow me on my social media and all the descriptions down below. But anyways, I'm heading out, guys. I'll see you later. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching.